What's up, guys? Merry Christmas. This video is my gift to you, and if you've read the title or you clicked on the thumbnail, then you already know what it's about. I've been working on this for a few months, and I'm very excited to show it to you. It's not this color-changing Power Wheels behind me. That is for my son. I just posted that video a couple days ago, and I was notified that you guys that have clicked the bell are not getting notifications when the videos come out, which is a problem when you're trying to revive a channel. So if you could give me the Christmas gift of sharing this video and that video and just liking them and commenting and all the things that you need to do to tell the YouTube robot that you want to see more of these videos, that would be great. I am in the process of reviving this channel, but if nobody's seeing the videos, it makes it a lot harder. So if you could engage with this video and that video, that would be super, super helpful. But let's get to your Christmas present. Now, the Fatsun has been the kind of topic of drama recently because I did list it for sale about a week ago. Now, I'm back and forth on this, and I'll talk about it at the end of the video because there's a lot of information that I think you guys need in order to understand where I'm at and to help me make the right decision, because I do want to make the right decision, but we'll talk about that at the end of the video for the sake of retention. So if you're interested in all of that and all the Fatsun drama and kind of where I'm at on the Fatsun and all that, stay to the end of the video and I'll walk through every single thing that I'm dealing with this thing, and you guys can comment or message me or email me even and help me kind of make the best decision about what to do with this truck. But that is sad, and later, this is fun, and now we're gonna go back in time and make some molds off of the Fatsun at the old shop, and I'll work you guys through the whole process to get to where we are today. And then we'll mount them and maybe body work them. We'll see. Let's go.
No. Pretty Caroline, oh, 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 stone cold stunner.
The gel coat being clear means you can actually watch it release. All right, I made this yesterday. I made lots of mistakes. You see how splotchy it looks? Not supposed to look like that. Basically, the first layer I put on, I took my time and made sure I got all the air bubbles out. I took too much time and it started to harden. I also used too much hardener, so I halved the hardener on the next round, and it did much better, but the damage was already done. One of the reasons I've been putting this off is because you really only get one shot at this, and that's pretty nerve-wracking. Feels pretty strong.
We're at 45.
Are you ready for me to?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. How long have you had the hooks?
So I bought these hooks in 1998 because I was organizing my garage in a new house we built, and I wanted to make it look really nice. So I bought these, and I had some extra, so I kept them. This is 2024. So since 1998, they're classics. We just upped the value of this table.
Can't get them like that anymore, man.
They don't make them like that anymore.
Like that going here. Is my disappearing table. And drop her down. And this is my workspace. Now, what's first is these molds. These molds are ugly, but I think they're going to be effective. All right, the PVA has dried and it's time for gel coat. If you're following along at home, the gel coat you want for making molds is the one without wax. The with wax is for making repairs on like boats and stuff. It'll dry on its own. Without wax, it'll never dry. So you basically put it on, it gets really tacky, and then you can lay the fiberglass down on top of it. And the fiberglass and the gel coat will chemically infuse. This company is called Fiberglass Supply Depot, and I use them because they're on Amazon, but I've been buying a lot of product from them in the past like month or two and been really happy with it. So I get a lot of people asking me like, what do I use? This is what I've been using and probably what I'll keep using. They're not sponsored, they're not a sponsorship, but if you go through the Amazon link below, that will support the channel a little bit. But mostly it's just to answer that question that I always get of where do you get supplies? This is where I've been getting everything, and I've been really happy with it.
you make these?
I made like a fake one out of basically like mud or like drywall or like clay, yeah. And then I made a mold off of that. And I put these fiberglass around the mold. right, so like I said, there's drama surrounding this because I did list it for sale. Now, it's not technically for sale right now. I'm talking to some people about it. There's a lot that goes into this. This is not like a flip-it decision. So let me tell you everything that's going on, okay? I'm going to break down everything that's going on with this thing, where I'm at, and then you guys can help me decide what to do because I'm just not quite sure. Okay, first, what needs to be addressed on this car? The first thing that needs to be addressed is when we drove it, it drove really weird. We did a lot of things that I wouldn't do the same way, like widening the frame, putting the engine so far back, everything that we did that kind of makes the car function, it isn't great. And while I was driving, I was like watching the wheels do weird things, and I don't know what I was wrong. And I'm honestly not sure if I can fix it. Now remember, when I started this car, I had never done an engine swap, I'd never welded, I'd never done any major suspension work, I'd never done any sort of chassis fabrication, I'd never done a roll cage fab, we'd never done anything. And so it was a lot of learning here, and it shows. I mean, it really, really shows. And I think that it kind of is the same as, I don't know if you guys are video game players, but if you guys remember the release of Cyberpunk 2077 or No Man's Sky, or currently the game that's kind of like this is Star Citizen, and these are all like massive games, and they've been developed over years and years, and when it comes down to release time, they just can never meet the hype. And I kind of feel like this is going to be the case with this car, in that there were a lot of mistakes made early on, and I really was very confident going into it, but I made a lot of bad decisions, and as a result, I don't think this is ever going to meet the hype that it has generated. It's always going to be a disappointment. And so I have to kind of figure out how far to take it in order to make it, well, profitable, and make it so that I can build something else after this is over with. And so here's where I'm at. The transmission is weird. It needs some work, major work. It doesn't run well out of anything but first gear. The engine needs some work because we seized it up, and it hasn't run well since we seized it up. So it made a new engine, made a new transmission. The airbag system needs a whole new rework because it has no management for it. So we've got to get a management system for the airbags. The chassis is not functioning properly, so there's a lot of work that's got to be figured out with the chassis so the car will track down the road straight and the wheels will roll straight. Okay, the body obviously needs tons of work. That's no big deal. I can do that in my sleep, so that's not a problem. The spoiler's got to be remade. I've got to make a rear diffuser. I've got to make a front bumper. I've got to finish the interior. There's still massive holes in the interior because we made a very complex interior tube thing that moves and changes and has steel plates everywhere, and there's still a bunch of that work that needs to be done as well, along with just building the interior in general. The seats still have to be recovered, and I've also still got to make some side skirts. Now, the bodyworking stuff is good. I can do all that, but the rest of it is the part that is an issue. And again, like I said before, like these games, these movies that are generated over the long course of time, and everybody puts so much hope into them, it's not going to live up to the hype because the bones aren't there. The foundation wasn't right. And so here's where I'm at, is do I keep it or do I sell it and move on to something where I can start with what I've learned and make something really, really great? I have several ideas. I have a whole car that's been waiting to go on the channel for years and years, and I want to show it to you so bad, and you will love it, and it is so cool, but I can't until I know what I'm doing with all this stuff. So why list everything for sale? Well, I don't have any money. The last video I did on this car cost me $1,000. This is just to put it in perspective for you. It cost me $1,000 to do when I did like the brakes and the fuel and the wiring and everything else, just in parts. That's not my labor, so I spent, I don't know, 30-something hours as well. That I was unpaid. All my labor on YouTube's unpaid, by the way. All the money I generate goes back into videos and then some. All right, so $1,000 goes in. I made off of that video $109.37. Now, normally when I tell people things like that, they go, yeah, but what about sponsorships and merch sales? Well, sponsorships, I'm not getting them because I'm just not generating the views that you need for sponsorships. You really need like 40,000 views a video to get small sponsorships, small being $500 to $700, and you need a lot more than that to get big sponsorships. So that's not really in the cards for me right now. And merch sales, over the course of build, I have made negative $1,500 on merch. I have tracked it, and it's negative $1,500 just because you guys are dads and most of you are like in your 30s and you're not buying t-shirts. Like I buy a t-shirt a year, so I get that. It's not really our market, but merch sales don't work for me. And so I have to generate attention, I have to generate views, and this truck, even though I know you guys love it, is not making money. And maybe it'll make money when it's done, maybe it doesn't. When you look at cars that were built like the Audi and the MR2, the MR2 cost me around $9,000 to build. In total from YouTube, it generated about $6,500, and then the Audi cost me $10,000 to build, and in total from YouTube, it cost me about $8,000. Now you might be noticing a pattern here, and that's true, that the cars don't pay for themselves, and the content doesn't pay me as well. And I know we're talking money, and money makes people uncomfortable. I'm not trying to make you uncomfortable, but I'm just trying to help you understand where I'm at. I've got 3 kids, a house, and a wife, and I've got to make smarter decisions. The reason we ended up in this position is because I made some irresponsible decisions with content, and it made it so that I just couldn't continue moving on. So all of that to say, I think it's going to cost me around $5,000 in just parts. That's not paying me. That's all labor free. $5,000 to finish this thing and get it on the road. I don't think it's going to live up to your expectations. I do think it's going to be rad, because look how rad it looks in its rough state now. But it's not going to live up to your expectations, so keep that in mind. But that's about how much I think it's going to take, and I don't have it at the moment. So I'm selling other things. I'm going to try to get some stuff moved. I want this thing done so I can move on to things and use the skills that I've learned from this to build something that's actually great. Now that I've been autocrossing for 3 years, I know that this car is not going to perform well on its current chassis, and I'd rather move into something and kind of start from scratch. I have great ideas that I want to share with you guys, but I can't until I know the money's there and I know that it's able to be moved along. So that is where I'm at. I want your opinion. What do you think about this truck? What should I do with it? If I finish it, if I try to finish it right now, it will kill the channel, because it will cost. I'll have to take a loan out, and then I won't be able to pay the loan back because I'm not making money on YouTube right now. And so that's what will happen if I just try to just burn through it as fast as I can and get it done. At the same time, I don't want to string you guys out for another 5 years. You know what I mean? Like, I want to build new things, and I want to be engaged with you guys, and it's not doing it by putting a video out on the Fatsun every, 2 months to a year. So I've got to figure this out. Now, what am I changing from a channel perspective, from a life perspective? One project at a time. The channel was doing really well when I was doing one project at a time, and then I got excited, we were growing, and I thought we need variety, and I started buying up projects and doing them, and that was a huge, massive mistake, and I realize that now. So I'm going to move into one project at a time. Is this the project? Is it the other one that I told you about? That's the question, and that's what I've got to figure out. But either way, I've got to sell some stuff so that we can put more money into the channel and keep projects going. Okay, so now you know where I'm at. That is it. That's everything laid out in front of you. Let me know in the comments what you think I should do. Honestly, if this was you, if you had 3 kids and a wife and a house, and you're building this thing that's not making you any money, how do you get to a place where your community's happy with it, and where you're happy with it, and where you can move on with your life? Now, another thing that I wanted to talk about really quickly is I've had a lot of people say, like, oh, if you sell the Fatsun, I'm unsubscribing, and that's okay, I guess. But let me put it into a perspective for you. Like, this is a business, what I'm doing. It's not a very good one. I don't make a lot of money, but it's fun. And I think about it like any other business, like a coffee shop. Like, say I owned a coffee shop that you came to once a week. And once a week I gave you a free cup of coffee. Every single week I gave you a free cup of coffee. And then when one day you come in and I say, hey, I've got this cup of coffee I'm going to work on, and I think it's going to be the best cup of coffee ever, but I've got to work on it. I don't know how to build this cup of coffee, and I'm going to make it as good as I can. Do you want to, watch the process? And you say, yes, that sounds awesome. I can't wait to have this cup of coffee. And we go through this thing. You still come in every week, every month, whatever, and get your free cup of coffee from my business that's paying for your coffee. And you come in, and one day I go, look, this cup of coffee is not working. Like, I'm trying to make it, and the flavors are too exotic. The beans are too hard to get. This I didn't know everything I needed to know when I was going in. I really need to just start over. And you go, I'm leaving. I don't want your coffee anymore. I never want your coffee again. If you don't give me this cup of coffee, I'm out. That's how I feel about those that say they're going to leave if the Fatsun goes. Like, I think that it's tough to understand on YouTube in that manner, but this content that I've made on this car for you guys is free, and it's something I've given to you, and it's something that has cost me an absolute fortune to do. And I get it. If you want to leave, then you can leave. You don't have to stay, but I can't base my decision on that. You know what I mean? Because there's the money that's been invested is my money that I'm just giving away. It's go back to the coffee analogy. I think it's easier to understand. It's I've invested money into this excellent, what I hoped would be an excellent cup of coffee. It turns out it's not going to be that excellent, and I want to invest my money into something else. If you feel like you need to leave because of that, that's fine. But don't threaten me. Just go. It's fine. You can go. I'm not holding you here. But also remember, your cup of coffee's free. So, stay for more free coffee or go find free coffee somewhere else. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me to be to threaten over this. This is a decision I'm taking very seriously, and I want to make the right one. So all of that to say, please let me know what you think in the most sincere way you can below, and I'll read these comments and we'll try to make a decision together. Ultimately, these things are sick. They're super strong. Like, I'm sitting on this thing. It's not cracking. It's awesome. So I am going to go ahead. We will bodywork these and get it all black and everything, and hopefully get it driving down the road. But just to drive it again, I've got to fix the transmission and put a fuel tank in and replace the fuel pump. So that's an expensive job. But I do think that needs to happen for you guys and for my sanity. So that's the plan. All right. I hope I hope the audio was good, but also I hope that like helps. Yeah, I just hope it helps. I also hope you guys have a really Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for being a part of this so far. I do have incredible plans and incredible builds that I want to do, but I've got to get through this kind of rough season first. And I don't know, man. Thank you for sticking with me through it. I'll see you guys. I'm not going to have a video this Sunday because I'm doing Christmas stuff this week. So we'll pick up the next Sunday. I think that's January 5th, maybe. That's the plan. That's the plan right now. I may surprise you with a video. I don't know. But I think right now my plan is January 5th. Merry Christmas. I'll see you guys in the next one.